Hey guys, welcome to the fourth episode. I'm so excited to be doing this episode with two amazing, vibrant, brilliant people. I have Ethan and I have Tanya, and today we're going to be talking about, well, you're going to see what we'll talk about. But really, what it's going to be about is, do you want to be starting something? Okay. And the whole thing is, who is making moves on who? Ladies, are we making moves on men? Men, are you making moves on ladies? So, let's kick things off. Ethan, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. I'm excited to talk about this topic. When you reached out, I was like, oh, this will be a fun one. So all is good. Enjoying the bright and beautiful
Yay.
sunny Arizona today.
Oh my gosh. And you know, the crazy thing is you're like enjoying this amazing weather and I'm like sitting in the house because there is a snowstorm
Oh
outside.
no, dang.
Exactly. Tanya, how's it going?
Good, good. It's sunny in San Francisco too, so thoughts and prayers to you. But I'm super excited to be chatting today. This is going to be it's going to be good. I think it's going to be challenging and we're going to leave transformed one way or the other.
Exactly. And really, guys, again, the whole point of this is to get all of us thinking about things in a different way. So maybe you're like on one extreme and someone on this podcast is going to say something that gets you like, you know what? Maybe I should try that. Okay. So just have an open mind as we have this conversation. So we're going to start with Tanya. Tanya, who
Yeah.
do you think should be making the first move? So, like initiating contact, right? Let's say there's a guy and there's a girl, and
Uh-huh.
there's like interest, right? Like, who do you think should make that first move?
Yeah, great question. And I mean, I understand modern times, things are different. But for me personally, I live by values, right? And I believe he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So I'm like, if he
Ooh.
can't even find me, that's the beginning of a lot of red flags for me personally. So I believe in being pursued by men. I want to see that he has seen me, he has seen value in me, and I'm worth the chase. So for me personally, I think he should pursue.
Come on, girl, coming in with
With a
a
strong,
strong Bible
yeah.
verse, you know, talking about
It's
he
like,
who
whoop,
finds a, come on, girl. Yes,
there it
yes,
is.
yes, yes. I love the confidence in that. Ethan, what's the story? What do you think?
I have to say that is a convincing statement. He who finds a good wife, uh, I like that. Do I think that it always is the case? I have to say no.
Mhm.
I think that I definitely do approach. It just depends on how I'm feeling and what's going on in the day and the situation, how interested I am. But I definitely can say with modern times, I have definitely been approached.
Oh,
And
wow.
there's nothing wrong with it. I actually
Yeah.
think it to me is it's also a statement of character. I think on both ends. It's like hey, she knows what she wants and she goes and she gets it. I like that. Like I think that that matches what I'm looking for in the world and
Yeah.
that to me is attractive. So I don't
Oh,
think it's a
snap.
necessity. I don't think she needs to approach. I think there is some, like you're saying, there is some value in he who finds he who finds a good wife.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I actually was there was something I watched just the other day. It was like a like inspirational quote about literally that, and I was laughing to myself because I was like, man, I love that statement. It was about not just finding a good wife, but it was like it's talking about how it's not about when you get married that this person is a wife.
Yeah.
It's when you find them that
Yeah.
they are a wife. Like you
Wow.
know
Oh,
this person
That's powerful.
matches that character. And I was like, wow, I like
Yo.
that. It's like you don't find the wife once you put the ring on her. You find her when you meet her, and you find
Wow.
her when like because her character is such. Not it's not a it's not a it could be a development thing. I think that, we all grow as we get to know each other. But I was like,
100%.
wow, that's powerful. So it's
Yeah.
really ironic that you brought that
Wow.
up. 'Cause I was like, that's the second time I've heard that
Yeah.
in 2 days.
And something, Ethan, you said, if I can jump in real quick, is I think the how you meet really matters in what you're looking for, right? Like for you, you said, hey, I love it when a woman pursues because that shows a character that I'm into, right? So
Hmm.
there's something about that initial meeting that I think speaks to what we're looking for. So I love that.
Hmm. I agree.
I like that. I like the tying things together. I mean, so for me, right? I think I can approach a guy to say hi. So let's say, for example, I don't know, it's like some sort of social setting. Maybe
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a conference or whatever, and I see someone, I'm like, oh, this guy is cute, right? I can
Hmm.
approach him, but like the approaching is just to say hi, like hi,
Yeah.
how are you? Like to just start like a basic conversation. But in
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
terms of like, would I then be vocal about hi? I think you're cute, let's talk, no,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
so I think that's just my thoughts on this, but I do
Yeah.
think when it comes to like the part where like someone is asking someone out, like I would
Yeah.
want a
Hmm.
man to ask me out. And I think I don't know what
Yes.
it is, if it's like a cultural thing, if
Yeah.
it's just like I'm a like more like traditional person, but the way I've always thought about it is like if a guy sees me and he doesn't like say that he's into me or he doesn't come and ask me out, it means that yeah, he might think like I'm nice, but it just means he's not interested to that extent. So
Yeah.
like I'm just like, why should I then be the one to go to the guy and ask him out? So that's just how my mind thinks about this. But I'm
Hmm.
pretty
Yeah.
sure like, by the end of this conversation, I might start having like, different thoughts on this stuff. So
Hmm.
Ethan, right?
Hmm.
You mentioned that like there have been times when you've been approached by women. I mean, you also do some approaching, but you've been approached by women. So like how do you deal with women approaching you to ask you out? So have there been cases where, you know, you were interested and then cases where you were not interested, and like how do you handle those situations?
Yeah, I think it's very much along the lines of what you said, where it's like someone approaching and saying hi or hello more
Yeah.
often than it is. I have had someone like, hey, I think you're super cute, and I would love to like go out on a date with you. And I was like,
Ooh,
oh,
coming in hot.
whoa, coming in hot, yeah, like coming in hot,
Spicy.
like wait a second. I'm just sitting, and it's so funny because I think about like how um it made me realize on a larger scale how often that happens for girls and for women, where like you're
Mhm.
just doing your own thing, you're living your best life, just vibing, and all of a sudden some random guy walks up and is like, hey, you're cute, you want to go out with me?
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is aggressive. Like, whoa. And so I just think it's kind of funny because when that happens or when that has happened, it's just kind of like, wait a second, like that was aggressive. And I don't like that personally. I'm not a big fan of just like run up on you and ask you on a date right off the back. I like to get to know
Mhm.
a person and talk to
Mhm.
them and that kind of thing. I think what I do find more attractive is like, I don't know, opening up the space for conversation. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
if I'm at a bar and someone sees me from across the bar and like walks over and it's like, hey, I saw you and saw like, I don't know, had something interesting to say too. That's kind of a key point. I think it'd be weird to just come up and be like, hi, but I'll get into why that's funny in a second. um, so it's more often, it's always been interesting when someone walks up and it's like, hey, I noticed that you like, I'm a sommelier, so maybe they noticed that I ordered a specific bottle of wine or something that's relative. Like, I'm also a salsa dancer and bachata dancer slash instructor, and hey, I saw you dancing and it seems like you know what you're doing. Where'd you learn? And like asking those kinds of questions, stuff that's actually relevant to me. 'Cause that's also how I approach people. I'm kind of, if I see someone that I'm interested in, I'll usually like pick out a detail about that person that's like different or something that they might not expect anyone else to notice that I picked up on. And then I'll approach with that versus being like, hey, I think you're super cute. Let me get your number. Or hey, I think you're super
Yeah.
attractive. Let's go on a date, because I just feel like that's super aggressive. On the other
Ah,
hand,
okay. Uh-huh.
um, my girlfriend. And I told her I was going to talk about this, and so she was like, "Just be nice, don't be mean. Say it." It was I would say it was a mutually approached situation.
What does that mean?
It was definitely uh, uh, I think it's funny because she was trying to introduce me to someone, and I was more interested in her than who she was introducing me
Oh
to.
my God.
Oh.
You have to paint the full picture for us.
Paint,
Like
paint.
we need the setting. We need the setting. We need to know, like, was she like wing womaning the person who was standing right next to her, or did she leave the girl kind of sitting, behind somewhere and she came? Like, tell us the whole story, please.
Whole story.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was at a bar, and I was actually there with a bunch of friends at first, and I'll just say those friends disappeared for a bit. I don't know where they went. It was a late night. It was a long night, and I actually hadn't even started drinking yet. So I'm very, very much sober, and everyone else is not. Because I
Okay.
was chasing friends all around town, trying to figure out where they were going. It was one of our friends' birthdays, and so there was like a little small table, like a high top table, probably enough for like two people to stand at, and that I was waiting at while my friends were figuring out Ubers and stuff for another friend that we were sending home, basically.
Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
so I'm sitting there and I'm on my phone and like I haven't gotten a drink yet because I was waiting for them to come back before I ordered anything because I wasn't sure what kind of a night we were going to have and all of that. And so I'm on my phone, just kind of doing my own thing. And then all of a sudden, uh, this beautiful, this beautiful woman comes up and she lightly, I'm sorry, she's in the room. So
Oh,
she,
I
He's
see.
giving you eyes like, you better say this right.
She's like, you
she,
better come correct.
yeah, she lightly lays her drink down on the table enough to kind of splash it.
Oh wow.
Okay, moves, girl.
And
Rolling. I
I,
can't.
I thought at first I was like, what in the world is going on? Because it's like only enough at the table for two people. And I just kind of looked up, and she wasn't like facing me. Like I thought she was maybe just sitting her drink down to just like, I don't know, like talk to someone or get on her phone or check her phone while she was passing by. And then she turns around, she goes, "Hi, I'm Jess." And I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Jess." And I'm like, I'm slightly like, okay, like I'm on my phone. What are you over here for? And then all of her friends kind of came over, and they all started talking, and then she introduced me to the friend, Rebecca, so who's also a friend of mine now. So love Rebecca, she's cool people's. And so then we're all talking, we're having a good time, and I'm just kind of like more focused on her than everyone else at the table. And she just, I don't know, like that to me, even it was something about how she came up and said hi that I was like, huh, you're an interesting person. That was very bold of
Mm,
you, like very
I
bold,
see.
and not an aggressive way. It was just very bold, and I thought that was attractive. And so then, after that, the space was open, and we talked about where we were from and where we've lived and traveled, and things that we like to do in life. And I was like, I like this girl. I like her a lot,
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
but she didn't know. So apparently, it was kind of like, oh, wait, you liked me? I was like, yeah. That whole night, I was like, we're vibing. I like this. She was a little bit not aware of it.
It's so interesting, right? Because you said she came to introduce her friend. And so I
Hmm.
guess in her mind, she's like, okay, the person I'm introducing this person to is the person who this person should be concentrating on. But you're actually like attracted to her and like how she approached you. What an
Hmm.
interesting situation.
And I feel like I've heard that too about like I've seen these like TikToks and these videos where it's like how a guy like choose a guy or something like that. I can't remember which video it was, but there was like a girl and she's like standing there and she's on her phone, and then a guy comes up and he goes, "Hey, my friend over there is interested in you." And it's like pause. It like that's like a gray scale over the video. It's like pause. Men, we're not interested in your friend who's not interested in approaching. As a matter of fact, the fact that
Oh.
you came over and approached us is more interesting, and so I'd be more interested in you than your friend now that you came up and approached.
Oh,
Ooh.
snap.
Definitely
What's
seen
so
that.
said?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Tanya, what do you think about what Ethan said?
I love it. I love it. And it's so interesting, right? Because when I think of this approaching or what this topic means, I think it's more in terms of the pursuit, right? If you're in a social setting and you're next to someone, by all means, I don't think there's any rules of who should talk. We're just in a room full of people, right? But I think
Mm-hmm.
when you want to take it to the next level, right? Want to know someone in a romantic sense, you know, I would still prefer for him to be the one who shows interest first, right?
Hmm.
So, but I mean, like if we're in a big group or, you know, Sunday you're at church, you're saying hi and greeting everybody, right? That's just the
Yeah.
setting.
Hmm.
And so I think there's those two things, right? There's the just, hey, talking. I don't think there's any rules of engagement on talking to people in spaces, but I think when,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when it's intentional, like, hey, there's something about you, I'd like to know you with hopes of, you know, maybe taking it further. You know, for me, I would still like him to be the one who initiates that because to me that shows leadership. That's important to me and someone,
Mm.
you know, I want to partner with. And so if you can't even lead, like in your head you're thinking it or you're not sure about me, that maybe shows me that you're not the kind of leader I would like to partner with personally,
I
right?
love
Hmm.
that. I love that. And I think, how you put it makes a lot of sense, right? Like if it's at church, everyone is saying hi to everyone. So if I go and say hi to a guy, I'm probably going to say hi to like five guys, not the burgers, but I'm going to say hi to like five guys because it's just a place where people are saying hi to people. But
Yeah.
Tanya, what if it's like a grocery store,
Mhm.
right? That's not a place where like people just greet everyone that
Yeah.
they see. So let's say like there's someone in aisle 18 and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, he is cute, right? Like, would
Yeah.
you like initiate contact with someone in a setting like a grocery store?
Ooh, good one. This one's challenging, right?
Hmm.
And here's the thing. There are so many good-looking people. I mean, I'm in the Bay Area. There are good-looking people everywhere, right? If
Hmm.
I was
Mm,
saying hello to all the good-looking men that I came across, I'm saying hello to the whole city, right? So, I
Hmm.
mean, whilst looks may be interesting, there needs to be something more, right? It needs to be deeper. If I'm going to, you know, like, I'm not going to just say hello because you're good looking, right? If we happen to
okay.
bump into each other or we're looking for the same thing, like it needs to be a bit deeper for me. I'm just not that casual, right? And maybe I'm just old school, right, about how I go about this. But I'm not that casual just to say, oh, someone's good looking. I'm going to approach them and start something. I mean, they could be good looking and be a serial killer, right? Good looking is
Yeah.
not enough, right? It is not enough. There needs to be substance. The connection needs to be more meaningful. Man, maybe, you know, we bump into each other or we connect on something that's like, you know, of substance. I'm like, okay, let's have a conversation. Does that make sense?
I see
Hmm.
what you mean. I think it's very interesting, right? Because when it comes to, well, first of all, up until you talk to someone, for the most part, up until you have a conversation with someone, you actually don't know if you will have a good connection with them or not,
Yeah.
right? So to me, the first thing that actually draws me to someone is how they look. Like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, in as much as people can say, like, oh, personality is everything, guys, like, seriously, if I see someone right now, I don't know their personality, but like, if I look at you and, like, let's say you're a good looking guy from the outside, or like you're dressed well, like you have
Yeah.
a well fitting suit or whatever, like, oh, I'll be like, oh, he's cute. Let me say hi and just, start a conversation. I'm not going to come and say, I think you're cute, but I'll have a conversation with you, and then from the conversation, I might be able to pick out if we even have like common interests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. Like the grocery store, it's hard to know anything about anyone. But I suppose in settings like, I don't know, the gym, if
Yeah.
you've been going to like a gym and you've seen this guy like over multiple weeks, then you know that, oh, we do have something in common. Like we both like to
Yeah.
work out. So in that case, like you could start a conversation with them. That's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And maybe Michelle and Ethan, I guess if it's the first thing, right? Obviously we're humans and we get attracted by our eyes. Like, how do you know which cute person you're going to pursue or say hello to versus which cute person you're not, right? Because there's so many cute
Yeah.
people in the world. Like, what is the criteria? Is it just the looks? Or is there something about their aura or something about
Yes.
their energy that draws you? Like, how do you, because I don't know about you guys, but I see good looking people everywhere all
Everywhere,
the time.
Mm,
especially
I
here on
see.
the West Coast. Like, 'cause I'm
Yo,
in
guys,
Arizona.
it looks like the West is where the beautiful people are at. Because the way you
It
guys are
is.
talking,
Come
like,
through.
I'm like, guys, I see a whole lot of average, average looking
Michelle went
people.
there.
She did. She would take it there. I'd say I'm with you, Tanya. Like, having lived, I lived in South Carolina, Arkansas, Minnesota. I went to college in Iowa with Michelle. Like living in the West Coast, it's like everywhere you look, there's someone who is like a model or an Instagram model or Instagram celebrity,
Mm,
or everyone's keeping up with the Joneses out here, and I'm on this diet, I'm on that diet. I just like I thought it was so funny. I was talking with a friend with you remember John from college. He's still my
yeah.
roommate, and we were talking about how abnormal it was like in the Midwest for someone to go and get like plastic surgery. And it was like, yeah, like that's not just like a common thing that everyone's open to talking about. Like, if someone goes and they get plastic surgery, it's kind of like a hidden, not really open thing. And here it's like, hey girl, I just got I got lipo, I got a belly tuck, I got my Brazilian butt lift, and I've got like it's just normal. It's like a normal thing out here to walk around, and people are just so open about like plastic surgery and how natural it like I mean it's not natural, but how natural it is to go and get it. Um
I see. Okay.
so image is just very much a big thing, I feel like, out on the West Coast than it is anywhere else that I've lived in my entire life.
Then
Um,
you know what, right? What you guys are saying makes a lot of sense because I think it brings context to this that okay, everyone is so good looking that you would, like Tanya said, like end up saying hi to the whole city.
mhm,
For me, like being here, no, it's not that everybody is beautiful. People are regular, they're regular looking people. And I don't know. I mean, also, I think beauty is also in the eye of the beholder, right?
For
I could
mhm,
be
sure.
on the I could be on the West Coast and still be like, guys, I don't know where the good looking people you were talking about are. I think like I mean it's a good thing
mhm,
that we're all created differently and we see like what we call good looks differs from person to
Yeah.
person. I mean, there are some people where like everyone can like objectively agree that okay, this is a beautiful looking man or a beautiful looking woman. But for the
mhm,
most part, you just like don't know. But I guess to answer the question, for me, like I said, for the most part, I prefer people to approach me. And there was a time when I approached someone, but it wasn't like I was approaching them for just myself. I actually approached someone who was standing with his friend because my friends and I wanted to like hang out with them, right? So like
Yeah.
mhm,
my friends are like, oh, those guys are kind of cute. Those guys are kind of cute. And then I was like, do you guys want me to go and ask them to come? So anyway, so then I was like, and they're like, oh yeah, I mean, like go do that. Then I went to them and I was like, oh hey guys, like, do you guys want to come and like hang out with us or whatever? So that was a
Yeah.
case where I was the messenger. But it
mhm.
was
Yeah.
like more of like I was doing it for like a group setting. But there have
Shooting the
been
shot for
times.
the team.
Listen,
Yeah.
and I'll spill a little tea. What Ethan
Yeah.
is saying, right? That whole thing of like when a woman approaches, it's so attractive to some guys
Mhm,
because me and this guy, I mean, we had a little fling after that.
Yeah.
So like
mhm,
basically all of that to say that it was cool that I was the one who went to approach. And when I went to approach them, I wasn't looking for anything with a
Yeah.
mhm,
specific person. It was just more of
Yeah.
like the group thing. But I think, people look for different qualities. It sounds
That's
like
true.
Tanya looks for leadership. Like a man
Hmm.
approaching her, like says like I'm a leader and like I'm
Yeah.
a go getter, right? And then for
Yeah.
Ethan, he does. He's had both. So like he has approached people, and then for him, when a woman approaches, but she approaches from an like a common interest or I want to get to know more about what you like
mhm,
angle, he likes that, right? It shows like that she's, I don't know, also a go-getter or like she's courageous. But
mhm.
if she comes to him and says, I think you're cute, let's go on a date, that's a turn off for him because that's just
Yes,
aggressive.
it
I
is.
like this. I like this a lot. So let's switch gears a little bit. So Tanya, why why do you think some women don't approach men to tell them that they like them?
Yeah. And I guess this is me, right? I am the woman you're talking about because, and I think there's something so counter our DNA as women, right? And maybe I'm just old school, right? And I get the modern context, modern woman. I'm all for it, right? Independent woman doing her thing. I'm all about that. But in our fabric, I don't know about you, Michelle, but there's just something that when someone sees you, appreciates you, and honors you enough to pursue, there is so much value to me in that, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
for me, I'm just like, man, if he can't even see that I'm worthy of stepping out of his comfort zone for, like, does he value me enough, right?
Yep.
Mhm,
Um,
Mhm.
so it's to me him not even being brave enough or maybe valuing me enough to want to pursue. Um, says something right. I would rather, honestly, a man who comes, who pursues, and I let him know, hey, you're not the right fit for me. At least he saw something of value in me, and he was brave enough. Like I was worth him, potentially being rejected for. So
Ah, I
for me,
see.
I
Yep.
just feel like, man, if you can't even see me, firstly, right? See me and then value me enough to step out. Man, that that undermines some of my maybe core love languages. That's how I feel loved,
Hmm.
when I'm seen and when I'm valued and someone's willing to go the extra mile for me. That's how I feel loved. So if you can't even do that at the start, and I have to be the one that has to show him that I'm worthy of
Mhm.
his attention, ah, that doesn't quite work for me. So I'm guessing a lot of women also want to be seen, right? And
Yeah,
valued
yep.
at that level. Maybe
Mhm.
that's why they don't approach, you know. Obviously, there's fear of rejection. I don't know if this is sexist or this is a misconception, but I feel like men are better set up for rejection than women. Like I don't know, if I go to a guy and he says no, or I don't know if I could recover from that. That may be the end of my life. Period.
You are
Right.
so right.
No.
And I think it's the whole thing too, where it's like if it's not even part of you, like if it's not your personality type to
Yeah.
approach men, and then the one man you approach shoots you down, like yeah, you'll be down for the rest of your life. So
Dead,
I mean,
buried.
so yeah, so I like that a lot. And I think, just thinking through it as well, other reasons could be like I mentioned, like cultural
Mhm.
background, like where like the culture you come from, men make the moves, right? So
Yeah.
like you're just like, why now? So I'm Zimbabwean, for example, and
Mhm.
and I get it. Zimbabwean women are gonna be different depending on who you speak to. But for me, culturally, I just think that the man is the one who makes the move. So that could be a
Yeah.
reason why I wouldn't approach a man. I think Tanya, you hit on the like traditional type of mindsets,
Yeah.
fear of rejection. I think another thing is just like a personality thing, like where sometimes girls are really shy. Like if someone is already like shy naturally, it's even harder for them to like walk up to a guy and like
Yeah.
express interest to them. And I think another thing too, it's like I don't know if it's that fear of rejection thing, if it ties to that. Man, I think I just have a lot of pride. It's like no, like what makes him think that I should chase him and not
Yeah.
him chasing me? So
Yeah. Yeah.
uh
Hmm.
a very twisted way of thinking about it. But Ethan, curious
Hmm.
to hear your thoughts why some men are not approaching women.
Yeah. I think it's a mix of things right now, and especially with the way society's kind of going, and uh, like I think it is a mix of. I mean, originally I felt like it was a lot of fear of rejection.
Mhm.
For me, I remember when I was like in high school, me and my friends literally went to the mall to get over the fear of rejection from women, so it became less of like a fear to like approach someone. So we would go to the mall and like, hey, she's cute, you go talk to her. Like, as like a, I don't know, almost like as a rites of passage for men. Like it's like,
Oh,
are you
wow.
are you brave or not? Are you scared to go talk to this girl? If you're not, then just go talk to her then. And so we did that as like a friend group. And I remember to this day like being just so worried about like walking up and like not getting the girl's number, and then like coming back to the friend group and being like, yeah, she didn't give me her number. And it's like they're all like, oh, you got no game, or like
Uh,
whatever it may be. And
uh-huh.
it's like not only the rejection of like the girl, but coming back to the guys and the guys being like, told you didn't have the sauce. Like, so I think there used to be for me like a large fear of rejection. I think now, um, it's uh, it's just you got to really walk light. You got to walk very light with how you approach people.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that there's just like I said, I felt like it was very aggressive when like a girl approached me and was like, "Hey, I think you're cute. Want to go on a date?" It was like, "Whoa, chill out. Like, you don't even know me."
Yeah.
Um, and I think there has been a lot of that in history that hasn't really been thought about or talked about. And I think some women like it, some women don't. And I think that that in itself is like part of why it's a little bit harder now to approach people. Because I don't want to walk up to someone and start talking to them, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Ew, like what'd you come up to me for?" And not like just the rejection of it, but like this is something that like they could take further than just rejection, and like be like, "Hey, you're like, I don't know, harassing me." And I'm like, whoa,
Oh, I
I'm
see.
just,
I
Oh,
see.
yeah, like
interesting.
I just thought you were cute and wanted to give you a compliment and come over and say hello. But if it's at that point, like I just don't want to touch it at that point. So I think
Mm, mhm.
there's like a like there's a new fear I think for a lot of guys um for approaching people where it's like the space now is like even harder to approach people because it can escalate so quickly from just like being like, hey, I thought you were cute, to like, hey, I thought you were cute, and now suddenly it's like, no one asked you to come over, why are you harassing me? And like
Oh,
then,
wow.
yeah, versus it being like, "Hey, I thought you were cute," and they just like roll their eyes and like, "Sorry, I'm not interested," or "Hey, thanks, I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm hanging out with my girls," or like finding some way to kind of like reject you and maybe like even lightly or politely or even more bold, just being like, "I don't think you're attractive, or I don't think you're cute," feels a lot better than coming up and someone like you're harassing me, because then it's like
Mm.
your whole life is on the line. You're like, "Oh, okay, wait a second, like I just was." Never mind. Like I can't even take back what I've said because I said what I meant. Like I thought you were
Yeah.
cute, but now you've put, especially for me as like a business owner and all kind, you've put my entire life in jeopardy when you start using the word like harassment.
I
Yeah.
So
see.
Wow.
so I think there's like a fear of that as well for a lot of guys. And um at least I know, like for me, that's one thing that has always gone through my brain. I'm very intentional about who I talk to and who I've talked to for those
Mm.
reasons, because I don't want to end up like on the news for,
Yeah.
That's so true.
yeah.
Wow.
That is so true. I think that like you bring up a really big point, and I wonder if it varies. So you're like, you know, a black man, right? So I
Hmm.
wonder if the experience varies even like across races where like, you know, for black
Definitely.
men you do have to be like more careful. I remember even in college being an RA or whatever, like
Hmm.
I feel like for if something happened on campus and like it was a black guy, things just really
Escalated.
escalated, right?
Yes.
So I think that also that's a big point that you bring up that
Wow.
hey, like
Yeah.
sometimes people just don't want to be in sticky situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think another thing too that I would add, in terms of, I was trying to think, you know, from the other side, why a man might not approach a woman.
Hmm.
You know, I feel like some men are used to being chased, and like,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Go
you
that
there,
know,
too.
girl. Go
like
there.
I am coming to your house. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, some men are used to like women chasing after them. So then
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, why should I approach a woman when like 20,000 women are like falling at my feet, right? And I think
Hmm.
for me, when I think about it from that point of view, I'm like, the fact that you think that you're the one who should be chased, like,
Hmm.
and now I'm just feeding into your ego, like,
Yep.
no, thank you.
Well, I think with that too, it's kind of funny because I was like I was thinking about what you said, Tanya, about the pride thing, and you as well, Michelle. And I was like, it's so interesting because there is something like that feels really good about someone like chasing you as a guy too.
Yes.
Like I mean, it makes you feel good. I was thinking about this TikTok or this audio that's on, like, it's been going viral, and it was like, women, learn to take men on dates. We do not, what is it? He's like, it's like his group, there's like a group of guys in the background, they go, "Uh-huh." And
Oh,
it's
is it
it's
a
a Nigerian.
Nigerian?
Yeah, he goes, "We like shawarma. Uh-huh. We like pizza. Uh-huh. No sex every day. Ooh, we are tired." And I'm like, "Yes, like I get that. That like sometimes it's also that you're just like, I don't know, like I want to feel appreciated too." And so it's not always like, and that's why I said it sometimes depends on my mood. I may be out and see this girl and see that she's looking over, but maybe I'm not having the best of days. But like
Yeah.
you said, Tanya, I think there is a value in, like, even on your worst day, if you can't go up and talk to this girl that you're looking at, which is hard to think. Like as a guy, there's also a fear of like, I don't know, I see this girl, I think she's beautiful, but like you just said, it's like it's what you see. Like I might walk up and the entire personality is just not
Mhm.
compatible.
Mhm.
And am I gonna, like, for me it's a time thing. Like am I gonna go over here and spend my night trying to talk to this person? And I mean, it doesn't have to be a full night. It can be as quick as like you walk over and she shows she's not interested. Let's say I walk over, I do find her attractive, I do start the conversation, she is interested, but then I'm not. And it's like,
Mm,
oh
mhm.
man, I really did just waste like a full night when I could have just continued hanging out with the boys, or just enjoyed my drink, or enjoyed like whatever article I may have been reading at the bar, because it just might be something like that. And I think there's like a value sometimes in being, I don't know, sitting at the bar, reading an article, someone notices you and it's like, "Hey, oh wait, you're reading about like what's going on between like Russia and Ukraine? That's so interesting. Why would you be reading that?" Or like
Mm-hmm.
like actually engaging with you as a person, as a guy. I think that to me makes you feel good. I think it makes anybody feel good, not just
That's so
not just guys,
true.
guys and girls.
And even
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question for you, if that's okay, Michelle.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
go ahead.
so two things you mentioned that really caught my attention there. So the first one is, and this is what I wonder about this whole pursuing who should shoot they shot thing, because there's a space for human connection, right? You approach a girl, you talk good vibes, but it's just not, you know, the kind of
Hmm.
connection you would lead to something further. Like, is that really a waste of your night? Or did you just get to meet a human, a great human that you connected with? Maybe you'll never see them again, but you had a good conversation. Because sometimes
Hmm.
I feel like we're just in such hunter mode. Like, you go out and a girl meets a boy, and it's like if something romantic and explosive doesn't happen, it's a waste of time. And I'm like, man,
Hmm.
no, like, we're called to community, right? Like sometimes you connect with people and
Hmm.
it's not romantic, it's platonic as the space it lies. So is it a waste of time if you know, approach someone?
It really, really depends on, I think, the intention of the person. Because if you're going up to someone and your intention, and I know like you were talking about the idea of being like in hunter mode, uh, it sometimes is hunter mode. Like I don't know, some people are single their whole lives, and I'm not trying to be single my whole life. So, and
Oh
sometimes
my
it
gosh.
is hunter mode at times, and it's like, hey, like, but I do think that there is value in being able to politely meet someone, find out that it's not the right person, and still be enjoying the experience. Maybe saying a
Yeah.
waste of time is a bit aggressive. It may be not productive towards the goal of not being single, but it doesn't mean you didn't meet an awesome person. So I can definitely agree with that. I just was thinking in my brain, I was like, that does sound kind of harsh. Like, man, I met this cool person. That was a waste of my time. Like, that's it's pretty harsh, versus being like, "Oh, I met this person. It wasn't what I was looking for." And sometimes, actually, I feel like those situations can actually be a lot better down the road, and maybe it turns into something, and maybe it
Yeah.
doesn't, or maybe they introduce you to somebody, or the mutual connection just fosters a really, really, really genuine and great friendship, um, which is also beautiful. So I think that, yes, it might be an overstatement to say, "Oh, it was a waste of time to not find like this person that clicks," right?
Yeah. No, I'll just go left field and say the friend zone is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
The best relationships are birthed out of the friend zone. So, gentlemen,
Hmm.
don't be afraid of the friend zone. That's where you find your ride or die. So,
I agree.
Oh, wow. I mean, Tanya, I don't know about all of that. I feel like male, you know what? It's a whole other episode on its own. Male and female friendships, whether people believe that men and women can like be
just be
Be
friends.
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 Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, we can do another episode on that one, but let's stay on track for this one. So let's switch gears a little bit here, right? When it
Hmm.
comes to making a relationship official, so now I'm talking about you've been talking to someone and then you've been dating or exclusively dating. Let's start with you, Tan. So do you think that like the same rules still apply, that the guy should then be the one to say, "Hey Tanya, I want us to become official," or do you think at that point you can be the one to voice it to him?
Yeah. Great question. And I guess it's different from person to person. Um, and how people see dating, right? So if you guys are going out on lunches, dinners, all that, like at some point, I'd like to know, like, what are we doing? Like,
Hmm.
do we just like to eat and enjoy each other's company? And that's totally fine. Uh, so I think it's important to have the conversation. I'm not the kind of person who will just exist and hope something happens. I think it's important to be intentional, right? Set your
Hmm.
intentions. And so as a woman, I'm okay asking, like, hey, like, what are your intentions? Help me understand. Like, if we're just fostering great friendship. We love food. That's all good, but I would like you to be, to voice what your intentions are, right?
Gotcha.
So, um, I don't know that I'd be like, "Will you be my boyfriend?" But I think at some point I would ask the question if I just see that, hey, this is not going somewhere, or you haven't made your intentions clear. I may bring up the conversation.
Okay, so you would
Mhm.
bring up the conversation, but you wouldn't be the one to say, "Will you be my boyfriend?"
Oh no, he
Okay.
who finds, he who
Okay,
finds.
come on, sis. It goes back to he who finds. How about you, Ethan? Do you think that it matters who makes things official?
Yes. I am a
Oh, okay.
big proponent of when I am like intentional about who I'm with and where it's going, I will ask you to be my girlfriend. And I make it very clear. And if it's not that, I'll usually say it long before. I tend to know, oh, this is a person who's like a fling, or this is just for fun. And I make that clear though. I'm very transparent about like my intentions with someone. Like if I'm, I don't know, like just dating around and it's like, oh, like just seeing what's out there, I'll kind of be clear with that and say, "Oh, like you're really cool. I love hanging out with you. I think it's dope, but I'm not sure quite about like where I think things are headed. And by no means like am I. I'll even tell them like by no means do I think that you should put all your eggs in a basket with me because I might not be the one for you, and I'm not sure if you're the one for me in terms of just like a relationship. However, when it is like someone that I am like, okay, we've been dating for a while, we've been going out, we've been eating, we've been drinking, we've been partying together, all my friends. Like, I'm
Mhm.
very intentional about being like, hey, this is where I want to take it. If you want to go down that road with me, I'm asking you, like, will you be my girlfriend? And I think there's a level of importance to like asking versus
Mhm.
just being like, you are my girlfriend or assuming. I used to do that, I think, when I was younger and being much more like, yeah, this is my girlfriend, and just like introducing someone that way like out in public, and it's like, wait a second, hold on, when did that happen? And a lot of girls just kind of went along with it. I feel like you said, Tanya, there's something that is kind of interesting about like the leadership aspect of that, of like, oh wait, he's okay, this is where we're going, I was on that path too, but thanks for taking the lead. But I also think for me there's an importance of like a relationship is mutual, and I don't want to drag someone into a relationship unknowingly. Like I want it to be an expressed, talked about, discussed thing, especially,
Mhm.
you know, where I'm feeling in life. Like I'm a lot more focused on settling down now and, building like what I like to call like an empire, like with one with.
Come on,
So
King.
yeah, exactly. Trying to build my empire. I found my Cleopatra and I'm ready to go forward with that. So
Come on.
yeah.
Snap. You know what? I love the transparency,
Yes.
Ethan.
Hmm.
Like that, regardless of whether you want a relationship or you don't want a relationship, you're clear. Like you tell
Hmm.
someone and you're transparent, like, hey, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because I think there's a lot of, especially tying it with the online dating thing and talking to people and whatever, there's a whole lot of people showing you actions that lead you to believe a certain thing. But, and then let's say, for example, even how they're reaching out to you and all of that stuff, you start to think, oh, I think I'm the only person. But in actual fact, there's like multiple people, and those people aren't transparent about what they're looking for. So I think I
Hmm.
really, really like what you said about that. But my other question, Ethan, is if let's say you were exclusively dating someone and the girl then asked you to be her boyfriend, how would you see that?
That's an interesting situation. I can't imagine in my brain that kind of happening, I guess, because my whole life it's been either we always call it the, what do you call it? The DTR
Mm-hmm.
conversation, determining the relationship, and it's
Yes.
almost always brought up by the girl for me. Like it's always like you said, Tanya, like they'll propose it like, oh, okay, where are we going? Where's things headed? And like I feel like even in cultural like jests and cultural jokes, like you'll see in social media people being like, when she asks, what are we? Or things like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
never like the guy, it's never in any like those videos or jokes, like the guy being like, so what are we?
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if I've ever asked that because I think in terms of like being in a relationship, usually the girl wants the guy to lead it. She
Mhm.
may like edge it on or ask some questions or like poke around to see where it's at, but very much so it's like, "Hey, you lead this. Where are we?" And you're like, "Oh, okay. As a guy, this is either you're truthful and you say where you are, or you're. I know a lot of people that might not be so truthful. Um, that's rude and disrespectful in my opinion, but it's definitely a thing that guys do. But if a girl did ask me, like, "Do you want to be my boyfriend?" If we're on the same page, I think I would explain that and say, "Yeah." I would feel. I think I would feel it's gonna sound weird, slightly emasculated. I don't know why. I feel
Mm,
like it would be like weird for a girl to like make the decision that we're in a relationship and not make the
okay.
decision, but because I guess it's also well maybe not so much because I don't think like she's making a decision. She's asking you. So going back to like that mutual, if she's like, "Do you want to be my boyfriend?" I think it's very bold to like ask that. But if I wanted
Yeah.
to be her boyfriend, then I would just say yeah, and I would think on it for a while. I would say, I think every girl would hate to hear this, but I might be like, I need to think on that, or
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like it's like the maybe, the answer that like every guy fears in terms of like, yes is good, no is bad, maybe is worse than anything because it's
Mhm.
like it's worse than rejection because you just don't know.
I
Um,
see.
so I think that would be like the case. It's such an interesting question.
From talking about this, I think all three of us are actually on the same page when it comes to like that question, like to make things official, right? Not the conversation of like where's this going, but like the question of like, oh, will you be my, usually I think we just want to hear like, will you be my girlfriend, and not
Hmm.
necessarily like the will you be my boyfriend. And this is so interesting too. I see you know there's an Instagram, I don't know if it's an Instagram video or whatever, but this lady, and I'm sure you guys have seen this a lot, this lady basically proposed to her boyfriend, like got down on one knee and
Oh,
proposed. And even reading the comments, everyone is like, why would you do that? And the one video that I watched, so she got down on one knee in front of like family and friends and like
Um,
asked this guy to marry her. And he literally walks away. Like he
ooh,
literally
wow.
walked away. And like that's the thing to me where I'm like, personally, I'm like, no, like never, ever propose to a man. Like why? Why are you proposing to a man? Because I think that like, again, maybe it goes to the leadership thing. If a man wants to be your husband, he will get down on one knee and ask you, right? Like the
hmm,
fact that like you as the woman are even getting to the point of getting down on one knee, I feel like it, again, maybe it goes to the whole what Tanya was saying, the whole self-worth thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
hmm,
does this person actually think you're like worthy of being like a wife to them if
Yeah.
you're the one who's now getting down on one knee to ask this person to be your husband? So very, very interesting things happening out there.
hmm.
So we'll get ready to wrap up. So like let's start with Tanya. What tip would you give to either men or women in terms of like approaching? So just one tip that you would give.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good one. I think my just parting shot is I think it's important to know what you want, right? There's the
Mm-hmm.
sports fish dating where you're just approaching people because you just want to see if you can get a number. But I think especially when you're an adult and you know where you're at and you're ready to settle down, like Ethan was saying, I think it's important to know, hey, this is what I want, and then be intentional about your next steps, right? That may look
Mm-hmm.
different for other people. If you're a woman who's like, hey, I want to settle down and I have no problem approaching, more power to you, do that, sis. But for me, I think just being intentional. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I see too many people who are broken because people are just so casual and just, shooting
Mm-hmm.
shots where they have no business shooting shots, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think knowing yourself, knowing what you want, and being intentional about it is what I'd say.
I love that. And Ethan, what's one tip you would give to either men or women when it comes to approaching?
I would say I really like that about intentional. I've been on this very interesting path this year about intentionality. Um, I think that I would say be intentional and be transparent. I think going back to that is the key. Like, you're walking up to someone and you want to be their friend, then be their friend. If you're walking up to someone and you've got the intentions of, I don't know, making this woman your wife or finding your wife, then go for it, my man. Like go do it, but be clear about it. I think I would say the same thing for a woman. I'd say at the core of it all, though, I liked what you said earlier, Tanya, is we're all human. So I think the best way to approach anyone is to approach them as a human. Learn about who they are, learn about what they do, what their passions are, and then you can never go wrong from there. Whether it's
Mm.
making a new friend or even making an enemy, like sometimes, like, okay, I know I really don't like this type of person. There's value in that. Um,
I love it.
yeah, yeah. So I think
I love
approach
it.
people as humans. That'd be the core of it, with intention and transparency.
I love it. My gosh, guys, thank you so, so much. I think if there's one other tip I would give to, maybe you're a woman who's never approached a guy before, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I want to try, like, approach, not necessarily to like say, will you marry me to a guy, but like to just start conversation. I'd say there are like many ways that you can do it. There are subtle ways to express interest. And I think throughout the episode, people kind of talked about different things. Like Ethan mentioned, like, you can see that, oh, this person ordered a specific type of wine. So that's how you go into the conversation. That's the conversation starter. I think just saying hi to someone and like asking how they're doing, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think also another way too is like, there are people on Instagram who have public accounts, and let's say you're like scrolling on Instagram and you see someone who's like, I don't know, a motivational speaker on Instagram. You can always just like reach out to the person and be like, oh, hi, I really like this post that you made on this day. Again, it's just more of like
Hmm.
getting a conversation started, and there's no harm in that, right? If you do have a conversation with someone and it ends up leading to something great, if it doesn't, it's also great. It could be a friend, it could be like someone who becomes a mentor, it can be someone you end up getting into a relationship with. So there's no harm. It's just, make human connections. So yeah, so
Hmm.
thank you both so, so much, Tanya and Ethan. This was incredible. There was so much value. I learned a lot. I'm sure people enjoyed listening to you both. So thank you for this.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And to everyone who was listening, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope that you took a few things. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up in the DMs at Unpacking Love, and I can forward those questions to Ethan and Tanya, and they can answer them for you. That's it from us, guys. Peace. Ndiwe wandiro ya moyo wangu, ndiwe wandiganganiza fungo zangu.